Welcome back to Cars of Queens, guys. It's been a while. I want to thank everybody for all the support they've shown on all my videos, especially with liking, commenting, and subscribing. And the NYC Vic, Joe, he also appreciates all the support. We read all the comments, so thank you guys. So today I have a review of my personal car. This is my daily driver, a 2020 Honda Accord Sport 1.5 liter CVT transmission, sport trim, finished in modern steel metallic. So this is a very dependable car. This is what I drive every day, and we're going to go over some of the changes in the 2021, as well as whether or not the sport trim is worth it. It lacks a few features that I think could make it a lot better, but overall I think it's a very sharp car. I think it's a very good car, especially for what you pay. Now, the sport trim comes with these distinct 19-inch wheels, which are the most stolen wheels in America, I believe. Of course, you got to have the wheel locks. Even these Honda wheel locks that come straight from Honda. Going around the Accord, you notice that it has very sharp design language. We have LED lights, which the previous 9th gen did not have. The 9th gen actually had mostly halogens, except for the DRL. The sport trim Honda Accord comes with these distinct 19-inch alloy wheels, which are the most stolen wheels in America. So if you do have a sport Honda Accord, you definitely want to invest in some wheel locks, preferably something more expensive, because I'm hearing that the thieves are able to break the stock Honda wheel locks that you might get at the dealer for free, which I did. Being that this is a sport 1.5 liter, it doesn't have a sunroof. That might be a deal breaker for some of you guys, but I didn't really mind it. Of course, if you do get the 2.0 Type R engine, which is actually a detuned Type R engine, you are going to get a sunroof, and the sunroof is also standard with all the other trims, including the EX, EXL Touring, and Sport Special Edition, which is for 2021. They might even continue it for 2022. Moving on to the back of the Accord, you have these kind of lobster style taillights. I think they look very good. So this part doesn't light up entirely except for the touring trim. So on this one, the brake light only lights up in this part. You also get this lip spoiler, and you get chrome lettering all around. This is a very photogenic car, especially in this modern steel color. It's very shiny and sparkly, as you guys can see. And then we also have this tail fin, which gives it some extra character. And on the 2021 Honda Accords, you do get a bunch of new features, which I think make it very much worth it, especially over the 18 to 20s, which include the new Sport Special Edition, the new Destroyer Gray-esque kind of colors, as well as wireless Apple CarPlay. And the sport trim is very improved. So moving on to the inside of the Honda Accord, the first thing you're going to notice when you sit in this car is that these seats are very, very well bolstered. As soon as you sit in it, it feels like you're in something, much more expensive. The interior is very refined. I just want to say, like, Honda blew it out of the park with this interior. You have this very nice big touch screen. I really like how the buttons work. They have a nice texture to it. They have a nice sound to it. Everything feels very high quality. You have this kind of faux carbon fiber. And you have a leather wrapped steering wheel. Everything just feels very nice. It kind of feels like, something out of an Audi or something. Like, it's very, very refined and good for what it is. The screen is miles better than the 9th gen, which was kind of laggy. It was old technology, but Honda really did it really nicely with this car. And you also have push to start, fires right up. You know what we like to say, she purrs like a kitten, folks. The 10th gen Honda Accord comes with this brand new floating screen design, which I think is a much needed improvement over the 9th gen's old double screen setup, which was very laggy. It was kind of primitive. With this one, you get no lag. It's very fluid. Everything works as it should. Going back to the home screen, you have everything that you could possibly need, and then you have the climate controls down here. Now, the cool thing about these is that the climate control, it turns blue or red depending on how hot or how cold you want to take it. It's very well designed. You can get into it and you know exactly what does what. Everything is very easy to use, and I would say that this is very user friendly. The 10th gen also has electric power steering, which is very, very nice. It's very, this is actually a really nice handling car. It feels like it's a much more expensive car than it actually is in terms of handling. It's very low to the ground. That definitely helps, and the low pro tires, of course. But this car handles like an absolute dream. Despite that, it does have some body roll, but the handling is what really sold me on this car. When I test drove it, I was like, wow, this car really does handle very, very nice. On the 1.5 liter CVT, you do get this kind of shifter. If you opt for the 2 liter 10-speed, you get a button shifter. And of course, there was a 6-speed manual until 2021. On the 10th gen Honda Accord, the paddle shifters are standard on the sport trim and above, irregardless of whether or not you get the 10-speed or the CVT. And they actually work very well. I mean, this transmission imitates gears regardless of whether or not it's the CVT or the 10-speed. The paddle shifters have a really nice feel to them, and I think they're a very nice and welcome touch to the 10th gen Honda Accord. So for the sport trim, you do get driver's side power seats, but for the passenger, you do not get power seats. So this is much more of a driver-oriented car. With the sport trim and up, we do get a sport mode, and all of them come with the economy mode, which I'm currently in. You can distinguish economy mode by the green leaves. So let's put it in sport mode, and right away you can see a display of the car, and then you see the red, and you also get a turbo boost gauge right up here, which I think is a very interesting quirk. And of course it does say sport. Getting out of this car, one thing you do notice is that the doors are very easy to close. They're very soft touch. It makes that very loud, obnoxious noise whenever you leave and take the key with you. Moving into the back of the car, you notice there's a ton of room back here. There's so much space. This is more spacious than, say, even a land yacht like a Crown Victoria. Okay, you have a ton of space back here. With the 2021, you do get additional vents down here. On the higher trim cars, you do get some AC vents here and optional USBs. Back here, there's nothing special. Just the pleather seats with partial cloth, and then you do get some cup holders. Powering my Honda Accord is the Earth Dreams 1.5 liter VTEC turbocharged engine. The turbo is very good on this car. At first it doesn't feel like much, but after you get past 60, this thing absolutely flies. Okay, this thing is no joke. Popping the trunk, I do apologize for all the garbage I have in here, but it does go to show the vast space we have in the trunk. It's big, it's wide, it's deep. We also have the option for folding down the rear seats, doing a 60-40 split, as you guys can see. We have a trunk light right over here, and we have some hangers right over here. The trunk is really, really big on this car. Just goes to show that this car has been really well designed in terms of space. We have a ton of room in the back. The driver can sit comfortably, the passengers can sit comfortably, and you have a ton of space in the trunk. So overall, it's a very, very practical car. It accomplishes and goes above and beyond in many, many aspects. Now getting on to the driving part of this review. The Honda Accord, I'm just going to say it right now, is very underrated. It's very, very fun to drive, especially because of, number one, the VTEC. The VTEC definitely kicks in. Okay, I know you Honda fans love to say that, but in this car, the VTEC absolutely flies, okay? It's no joke. You cannot downplay the VTEC. Number two, it handles like a dream, okay? So without further ado, let's go drive the Honda Accord. So of course you are going to get the CVT drone. It's kind of loud at first. I mean, it's a lot quieter than, say, Nissan, for example. But after the CVT drone is gone, it's very, very nice. You see now it's kind of quiet. I'm not sure if you guys could hear that over me, but it gets up to speed very, very quickly. As you guys can see, we're out here in Mexico right now, sending it in the Honda Accord. So despite being a very, very nice handling car, it does have a lot of body roll. Oh, look what we have here, a very nice Grand Marquis. So you guys are going to notice that it does have some body roll. I welcome body roll. I have no problem with it. But overall, when you're switching lanes, if you're cutting up on the highway, it's a very good car to do that in, especially due to how well it handles and the safety systems in this car. It has accident prevention, so it brakes for you automatically. And there's definitely different levels to the lane keep assist. So you can decide how intrusive or lack thereof you want it to be. Which is, I really like how they did it. They don't force it onto you, and you can just turn it off if you don't want it out. So getting into the driving section of the Honda Accord, this is where the car really shines, okay? If you guys are contemplating buying one of these, I highly recommend the test drive. Even if you test drive the 2.0, you're definitely not going to be disappointed by the 1.5. As someone who drove both, the 1.5 turned out to be more economical. You know, obviously it's much cheaper, and as you guys can see, it had no problem getting up to highway speeds. Sounds pretty good. I mean, there's a light CVT drone. Of course, I mentioned that there's one at the first gear, or excuse me, the first imitation gear. You know, there's a lot of CVT drone, but after that, it's relatively quiet in here. Getting onto the highways though, there's a lot of road noise. I think Honda could have done a better job at getting rid of the road noise, but I'm not complaining because this is a major step up from the 9th gen. So if you guys are coming from the 9th gen, you're gonna notice there's a lot less road noise, and this car has no problem getting up to speed. I mean, after you get past 60, like, it absolutely zooms past everybody. As you guys can see, this car has no problem getting up to 90, like, really, really quickly. Overall, I think this is a joy to drive. The turbo makes it very, very fun. I mean, it just picks up and it goes, okay? Like, there's no slack for this car at all. The ride quality is pretty good. I noticed it was a bit stiff at first, but that was because my tires didn't have enough air, and everything just works. The steering is really, really nice. It's the electric power steering. It just handles like a race car. It's not, you know, you wouldn't think something of this caliber would handle so nicely, but it just does. It just works. And you know, partially because of the low profile tires, and of course it's very, very low to the ground. That might be a problem for some of you, but I've noticed a lot of guys even went lower. And you know, some people say I should slam it, but I think this is as low as I'll take, because you know, especially in New York, it's gonna get messed up. You know, you're gonna be messing a lot of stuff up with our rough roads. And also the 1.5, you're obviously going to be getting much better gas mileage in the city, so that's a reason to get it over the 2.0. But the 2.0, very, very fun car. There's nothing wrong with it. I know the 2.0 guys like to make fun of the 1.5s, but neither are bad cars. Let me just say that right now. The CVT is tuned very, very nicely in these cars, and I think Honda just knocked it out of the ballpark overall. Like, they did everything so nice. I've driven the Altima and the Camry. They're just not as fun. Of course, the Altima, the CVT is pretty bad. It's really loud, in my opinion. And the Camry, it's just not really fun or anything. And this one is like, this is why this is such an award-winning car. You know, everybody says, you know, best sedan, Honda Accord, hands down, and I'm inclined to agree. Not just because I have it, but it just works. It's very, very fun to drive, and I can't stress that enough. Like, I can't believe that, you know, a 4-cylinder Honda is so much fun. Thanks for watching this video. I know this is a little bit different. I hope everybody enjoyed it. Please leave a comment down below letting us know what you want to see. Of course, we have some more police stuff. We have more Crown Vics. We have more taxi stuff in the future. So stay tuned. A little bit of a spoiler alert, but this isn't going to be just new cars. It's going to be lots more of you know, Crown Vic stuff. We have a lot of stuff coming for the summertime. And please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you share the video with your friends if you did enjoy it. And until the next time.